Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 107 of Walking with Jay. Today's date is the
29th.
29th of August 2017. I'm your host, Jeremy Vincent Henry Larson, and I'm here with my good friend, James Hunt, and colleague, right?
Right.
Co-worker.
Yeah.
Where do we work at there, James?
Elevate, which is a clubhouse for the mentally ill, which is part of Southwest Center Behavior Med.
Yeah. And so both of our roles there are as peer support specialists. And what we do, ladies and gentlemen, in case you don't know, is that we use our lived experience with mental illness and our recovery stories to build rapport with people and to help inspire them to live a life in mental health recovery. Is that right?
That's right.
How'd I do?
You're doing just fine.
All right. So James, you've been on the show a couple of times, right?
Right.
And we've talked a little bit about when you first knew that you had a mental illness.
Right.
And you've had what is mental illness?
That's when your mind has a little bit of a disease, either caused by some kind of chemical imbalance, or it's caused by stress, or maybe a mixture of both. And mine was caused by both.
Yeah.
And I went through a tremendous amount of stress and ended up in the Holy Cross Hospital, Calgary, Canada. And it seemed to me that for a time I was doing pretty good there. The Canadians back then took a little bit more of an aggressive thing with mental illness.
What do you mean more aggressive?
Well, back then they used a lot of lithium and Haldol.
In Canada?
In Canada, more so than they did in the States. And this story has a little bit to do with how
Let's just slow down. We'll take a nice, easy
pace.
You're breathing heavy. I'm just worried about you.
No, that's all right.
It is hot here in St. George. I'm sorry, I cut you off. Go back to you, James.
Anyway, so I was having a fairly easier recovery in Alberta, and there was nurses that were kind of making my life a little bit miserable for me, and my mission president decided it was time for me to come to Utah.
Okay.
And so he switched hospitals on me, and it seemed to be a good idea, but it turned out...
At the time you agreed to it?
At the time I agreed to it, thinking that, well, surely the primary children's hospital would probably be a good fix for me. But the medications they were on up in Calgary were doing a lot better than what they were trying to do for me. They decided that I was in danger with all these medications. I was on a large amount of lithium, and they had a pretty good dose of Haldol on me, and they were worried about side effects. But so my doctor in Salt Lake decided to take me off everything.
Wow.
To switch me to another medication.
Just like cold turkey off
Cold
of all
turkey.
of your meds? What happened when you went cold turkey off those meds? I haven't had good experiences going cold turkey off of meds.
It sent me into a relapse, and it was actually almost as bad as the first episode.
Wow.
And I would like to shoot that doctor a little bit for deciding to do that. But after a time, after a few days in hell, that was really there. I was able to. My folks came down from Washington State, and it's the first time I'd seen them in about a year. And they're the ones that saved my life.
What did your folks do to save your life?
They just brought an incredible amount of love, an incredible amount of
Like
compassion. I hadn't seen my mom for a long time, and she just brought this sense of healing come over me. And my dad was there too, and oh well, it's just that they were able to calm me down just completely.
So
And it was just
when you said you got really sick again once they took you off the meds, what were some of the things that you were going through? What was happening to you?
a lot of hallucinations,
Mm-hmm.
and and then they took. I knew that I had to hang on until the morning in this one place, and I guess I was in intensive care, and
Let's just stay in the shade here.
good idea. And we just had to. Well, I just had to hang on, and I kept on thinking about a song about clinging to an iron rod. And
Uh-huh.
this
Is
bed
that a
of
church
mine-
song?
Yeah, it's a church song. And the bed that I had this rod,
Huh.
and I used to sing that song and just cling to the rod all night.
Uh-huh.
And when I was about ready to give up, I just had a feeling you just got to hang on till morning. And when I didn't know why, I was just about ready to give up. In fact, I let go.
Of
And
the rod?
Of the rod, of everything. I just said, okay, this is it. I'm going to let go.
So at that time, did you feel like you were going to pass away, or?
Yeah, I knew if I let go long enough, that's what would happen. But at the very second that I let go, my dad's voice goes, "Where is my son anyways?"
Uh-huh.
And I heard my dad, and I raced out of my room,
Uh-huh.
and my dad and my mom
Oh.
and my younger brother and older brother were there. And they brought such a feeling of love,
Oh, nice.
and it just carried me through. And they were able to get me back on my medications. But I believe, had it not been for the fact my folks were, if they hadn't come, I don't think I would have made it.
Wow.
That's how incredible the story was. And then I seemed to get better after that, but it was time for me to come home, and I wasn't necessarily.
You all right?
Yeah. It's hard to think and talk and walk.
Yeah. You want to sit down for a while, or?
No,
Okay.
Anyway, it was just that it was like being home.
When your parents came,
Yeah,
your
they are.
brothers.
And my dad took me in his arms and helped me get to sleep. And I felt secure. And I fell asleep.
Nice.
And I had no idea how long I slept. And when I woke up, my mom was there, and my younger brother, and my big brother that I hadn't seen for 2 years, I think.
Oh, wow.
And he was there. And it was just an incredible feeling of love
That's
came
awesome.
into my room. Anyway, so then it was time to.
So, would you say that love is actually a healing power?
Oh, it's the most impressive healing power there is in the universe. We don't know exactly what love is. It's just a feeling that comes over you in many degrees. Anyways, and so there's a song goes that where love is, God is there also.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Anyway, so it was time for me to come home from the hospital, and I came home and I was wanting to come
And where
home.
was home at the time?
It was up in Washington State on a farm in the middle of the Columbia Basin. Probably, I don't know if you've heard of that place. It's
I know where Tonasket, Washington is.
it's kind of west of there, east of there. Anyways, and so it was just
You know where Omak is?
yeah, it's to the south of that, and south into just about south of Omak. And I had a kind of rough 6 months at home.
Just trying to get used to the medications, or what was going on? Or,
Well, every time that I start feeling a little bit better, other than the fact that I slept a lot, because the medications just wiped me out. I mean, the whole illness wiped me out. I
yeah.
had to regain my structure. It's just that I used to kick myself. Well, I should be in the mission field doing this and this and this.
Right.
And
So
I
you're
should,
disappointed that you.
yeah. I was
Did you feel any shame or anything like that?
Yeah, I felt shame too that I wasn't doing what I needed to be doing.
Right.
They hadn't released me as a missionary. I was still serving my mission, and so it was kind of double duty. I kind of felt shame, and then I felt frustrated,
Yeah.
and then that would get me weak. But in about 6 months to 7 or 8 months, I almost made complete full recovery, which was a miracle in itself.
And how did you know you had recovered? What was different?
I was able to think clearly. I was able to take and actually get ready to go back to the mission field, which was no small task. Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
It being that I had to prove myself that I could go
You had to prove that you were stable enough to go. Is that
back
what it
into the
was? or-
mission field. Yeah, just like the first time you go on a mission,
Yeah.
they don't let people go on missions that mentally ill. So I had to prove myself, and so my therapist came up with a plan that I'd leave home, go stay with foster parents, and work as a service, and then study as a missionary does. I did this for about 2 months, 2 or 3 months, and it was proven successful. So I was able to go back into the mission field. And this took about a year.
Okay, can we go back just a little bit? So,
Sure.
being that I'm really interested in what people do to recover and what people do specifically in their minds and in their bodies and their habits and stuff, what did you do to get well
Well,
in that time?
I did a lot of soul searching. My mom did a lot of loving. She used to read to me books because my eyes were dilated enough I couldn't read.
Because of the
Get
medication.
the medications until they started lowering them. And
So, what kind of books would she read you?
well, she just one was Charlie's Monument. It's a really, really good book.
Uh-huh.
And there was just to just give me special care.
So she was like pouring into you like wisdom and stuff through reading books
And right.
and were the books encouraging or?
Oh yes.
Nice.
They were encouraging books. Charlie's Monuments is a great book about a man that has a disability
Uh-huh.
through his life, and he can't walk right, and he has to. They didn't think that he was good for anything except for being a watch for the tower town, and it was in the 1800s. But he would push a rock up to the top of this hillside, which he'd watch out for the Indians in case of raids, and he would watch over the town, and then he'd come down the hillside, which was really hard for him to come down
Uh-huh.
because he didn't walk real straight.
Right.
And he watched over the town, and after a while, there's a gal that fell in love with him. They go up there together and watch over the town. And they started looking at the different people in the town and deciding, well, people were in need,
Uh-huh.
and they would think of together how to help these people out
Right.
that were in need. And then after a while, his wife was pregnant, and she was still helping me get up, and he'd push up rocks every day
Uh-huh.
to the top and make a monument. And his wife gave birth and she died,
Oh wow.
and the child died too. And
That's a horrible story, Jay.
it became very good in the end, though. He's pushed up a really big rock on that day,
Uh-huh.
and then he just continued on to care for people and love people,
Yeah.
and built this big monument on the hillside. And then in the end, he's an old man, and he's sitting up on top of the hill, and his wife comes to him, and they go off together
Oh, okay.
into the next world. So even though it's a sad story in a way,
Yeah.
it has a good ending for those that believe. And so these were just some of the things that
Were they spiritually,
uplifting to
yeah,
me.
spiritually uplifting? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So what else did you do with your mind at the time to recover? What did you do with your body?
Well, I just made a determination that I wanted to fulfill my mission.
Uh-huh.
And first I just had a desire to go out and work. And so I'd take on some tasks. And I was in the fall. And I got working on a potato harvester where you take out the weeds and the rocks and stuff. And sometimes you gotta work really fast.
Uh-huh.
And
That's physical work too,
it's
right?
physical work.
Yeah.
And because of the physical fitness of the work, it started to cause for me to shift into a different mindset. And I started getting a lot better. And when I came home from a day of work, my dad goes, "Wow, he's talking so much better," meaning me.
Right.
And he's looking so much better.
That's incredible.
And he says, "Yeah, he needs to get out and work." And so that was just one thing that we did. And because I needed the physical exercise and to work.
So work is kind of a theme in your life, isn't it? I mean, you're still a hard worker.
Yeah.
You still work. You work way harder than I do, but I mean, you work basically from 8 in the morning until 10 at night, don't you? Most days.
Most days, except on day off.
Yeah.
Then I take it a little easy.
I mean, how many days completely off do you have?
Well, today I had a day off.
Yeah. But generally in the week, you don't take any days off, do you, partner?
No,
Right.
so I'm either working.
No
or
further questions, Your Honor. This guy is a hard worker.
Well, so those are a lot of things that I did, and just hard work. And then I got to where I had my scriptures where I'd listen to them on cassette. If I couldn't read, I'd listen to them. And
So
that
you're
would
just
help
feeding your mind, feeding your spirit.
feed my spirit and feed my mind. And I knew that it was about time for that I'd be actually going back, and so I did a lot more praying and spiritually preparing myself spiritually.
Right.
LDS mission is about spiritual things.
Right.
You're teaching other people about your church, and so those are some of the things I did, and
And it seemed to work.
it did. It worked. So those are some of the ways to recover. It's
Now,
just-
my question are some of those things still the things that you do now to maintain your wellness?
oh yeah, I enjoy working. If it wasn't that, if it wasn't for the fact that I enjoy being an elevator, I don't think I'd have the schedule I have right now.
Right.
That's just part of it. I also believe in reading good books, reading scripture, and to maintain a good mental attitude.
Yeah.
And
And you had kind of a purpose there too, though. I mean, your purpose was to get back into the mission field, right?
yes,
And so you had this driving purpose to get well.
and I only had a short time to do it in. A mission lasts 2 years, and I was finishing up going into my second year, and I was still at home. So,
We're standing in the shade, but it's still hot out here, isn't it, James?
yes. It's
We're not going to lie to you, ladies and gentlemen. It's St. George. We were hoping it'd be down in the 90s, but it's not. It's still over 100. But yeah, James works so hard that I never get a chance to get him on the program. So this is the time. So yeah, that's so cool. So a couple of things that I would take away from that is how important it is to read uplifting things when you're not feeling well.
Yes.
Right, and to feed your mind, because I think sometimes when our minds aren't working the way that we want them to, we've got like that. You could be trapped into a negative cycle of thinking or of believing and stuff like that. And so it's super important to feed your mind those things that will lift you up, right?
Yeah. At the time that I was getting ready to go back into the mission field, during my, let's say, period of trial before the mission, I had to study all my discussions and relearn them.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's quite a bit of memorization.
So that's just really working the old brain out, isn't it?
Yeah, I would study about
Was that
about 4 to
stressful
5
to
hours
you?
a day.
Was it stressful?
No, it's actually it would be the opposite. It was hard work, but I found that even mental work, it takes away the stress
Nice.
if you're doing something positive.
Right.
And so it was actually a way of relief.
Well, guess what, Coach?
About half time.
It's been 20 minutes already.
Wow.
How do you feel about that? Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. James Hunt, one of my all-time heroes in life. He's a figure of resiliency, hard work, faith, courage, and just an all-around great guy. Glad to be on the same team as you are, James.
Oh,
And thank you so much for joining me on Walking with Jay.
I've had an enjoyable time.
We'll do it again soon.
Not so soon.
Not so soon. We got to wait till the temperature comes down a little
Right
bit.
on.
All right. Well, we love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll talk to you again soon. Cheers.
Goodbye.